How do you usually grow potatoes? In wooden beds, plastic containers, fabric grow bags, or other types of planting pots? All of these methods can produce good results, but the downside is that they are not really durable. So today, I'm going to introduce a new way to grow potatoes. Simple, sturdy, and more durable. Growing them with bricks. In this video, I'll be testing two different brick potato growing methods. We'll follow the plants throughout their growth, compare their performance, and see which setup produces better results in the end. Be sure to watch until the end and leave a comment below to let me know which method you like better. What will I do with rice husks, soil, and coconut coir? First, I mix them together thoroughly and place the mixture into a small container. These are potatoes from the supermarket. I will place them inside this plastic container. Then cover them with a thin layer of the soil mix. Next, I will add a second layer of potatoes. After covering them with more soil, I add a layer of dry straw on top and water it lightly to keep everything moist. Here, I am using about 100 bricks. Compared to wood or plastic, fired clay bricks are highly durable and can be used for many years. I will arrange the bricks into square beds measuring 15 by 15 inches. Here I made 4 square planting beds using bricks. Then I will fill them with the prepared growing medium. The bricks also help keep the beds sturdy and stabilize soil temperatures by absorbing heat during the day and releasing it at night. After 1 week of sprouting, the potatoes have developed shoots, so I will plant them. I will plant the whole potatoes. I dig a hole about 5 inches deep and bury the potatoes completely in the soil. If potatoes are planted too shallow, tubers may turn green, accumulate solanine, dry out faster, and produce less. If planted too deep, sprouts grow slowly, weaken early, and may rot in heavy or poorly drained soil. Finally, I add a layer of straw mulch and water the surface to help retain moisture. Let's take a look at the potatoes after 15 days. The young shoots have grown about 2 to 3 inches tall. I will check the potatoes. As you can see, all of the shoots have emerged. The young roots have also spread out and started growing deeper into the soil. After 30 days, there is a noticeable difference compared to 2 weeks earlier. At this stage, the potato plants have reached a height of about 12 to 18 inches. Their stems, leaves, and canopy have expanded, This bed seems to be developing the slowest, doesn't it? And the root systems have grown significantly. However, the plants within the same bed are still not growing uniformly. The lush green potato leaves are really beautiful. I will remove all of the straw mulch from around the base of the potato plants. This is coconut coir. I will soak and rinse it thoroughly with water to remove salts and impurities, helping it absorb water more effectively. Then I squeeze out the excess water. At this point, the coir is safe to use for plants. I mix it with worm castings. This mixture will provide beneficial microorganisms and the nutrients needed for the plants to develop healthy potato tubers. Cover all of the potato plants by hilling soil around their bases. In addition, coconut coir helps loosen the soil, creating a better environment for the tubers to develop. Now, all that's left to do is add a little water, and we're done. Let's see what happens 2 months later. By this stage, the plants have matured. Their stems and leaves have grown much larger, with many side branches developing. Underground, the potato tubers continue to expand. I will place small wooden stakes around the plants to create a support frame. This helps keep the potato plants upright and prevents stems from breaking or rotting. Next, I continue hilling around the plants using coconut coir mixed with organic soil. Meanwhile, the potato tubers below the surface are still increasing in size and storing starch. And here is an interesting point. I would like to share this simple trick with you using just a single copper wire. I will shape the wire into a pyramid-like form, then wrap it around the top of a long wooden stake and continue winding it down the entire length of the stake. After that, I will insert it directly into the potato beds. Do you know what these stakes are supposed to do? Some gardeners believe they may help reduce fungal diseases, release copper ions, deter slugs and snails, and provide a small amount of trace copper. Look at this. The potato flowers have started blooming. After 4 months, the potato plants have turned yellow and begun to die back. This is the time to harvest. I'm excited to see how the results turn out. Let me harvest this bed first, so you can take a look. Oh, there are both large and small potatoes here. This clump seems to have produced even more tubers. There are plenty of small potatoes as well. Let's pull up the next plant. Come harvest the remaining plants with me. As you can see, many of the larger potatoes are located deeper in the soil. I'm very happy with these results. Now let's move on to the next potato growing method using a long brick bed. There will be a few changes in the planting process. Let's take a look at how it's done and compare the results to see whether they differ from the first method. First, mark out a rectangular area measuring 80 by 16 inches. Then, use old bricks to build a border around it. The bricks should be placed tightly together. Make sure the upper row is staggered relative to the lower row to create a more stable structure. The brick bed should be built to a height of about 15 inches. I'm going to use coconut shells as the bottom layer. Dry coconut shells with hollow centers help improve aeration, retain moisture, enhance drainage, and create a healthy environment for root development. The coconut shells should be packed closely together. Once the bottom layer is filled with coconut shells, I'll add soil on top. These are the potatoes that I pre-sprouted about 1 week ago. As you can see, they have already produced plenty of young shoots and young roots. I'm going to cut the potatoes into smaller pieces. Each piece should contain 2 to 3 sprouts. To help the cut surfaces dry more quickly, I'll gently rub wood ash onto the cuts. This also helps reduce fungal problems and lower the risk of tuber rot before planting. Continue doing the same with the remaining potatoes until all of them are prepared. Next, I'll dig trenches across the width of the brick bed. The trenches should be 4 to 6 inches deep, with 24 to 36 inches between rows, so the plants have enough room to grow and produce healthy tubers. Then I'll place the potato pieces into the trenches. Be sure to position the sprouts facing upward and completely cover the seed pieces with soil. Next, I'll add a layer of rice husks. If you don't have rice husks, you can substitute them with sawdust or dry straw. The purpose is to retain moisture and create favorable conditions for strong sprout development. Then, I'll water the bed to provide sufficient moisture for the soil. 1 week later, you can see the first potato shoots beginning to emerge from the soil. At this stage, the plants are still small, standing about 1 to 3 inches tall, and are focusing on developing a strong root system underground before entering a period of rapid growth. I'll water them again to maintain soil moisture and support healthy growth of the young potato shoots. Each potato cluster has produced 3 to 4 young shoots. Can you guess what these 2 plastic bottles are going to be used for? I'm going to use them to protect the young shoots from threats such as slugs, insects, frost, and low nighttime temperatures. After 15 days, the potato plants have reached a height of about 4 to 8 inches. You can see more true leaves and additional branches appearing. Let me show you these young potato plants more clearly. The smaller plants still need a little more time. The larger plants are now strong enough for us to remove the plastic bottles. This one is doing well, so I'll remove the bottle completely, but not this one next to it. At this stage, we need to prune some of the potato shoots. The roots and stems are beginning to grow rapidly, so removing weak and secondary shoots helps the plant concentrate its nutrients on the strongest main stems. After 30 days, the potato plants have reached a height of 12 to 18 inches. The stems and leaves are growing vigorously, the canopy is lush and green, and the root system has expanded significantly. Underground, the first young potato tubers are beginning to form and develop. I'm going to use stakes and twine to tie the potato branches together. This helps support the plants, improves air circulation through the foliage, and reduces the risk of fungal diseases developing around the base of the plants. Next, I'm going to burn a small amount of dry grass. Dry grass contains potassium and other minerals. When it is burned into ash, these minerals become concentrated, helping provide nutrients for both the soil and the plants. After the ash cools down, mix it with trichoderma. Then it's ready to be applied around the plants. At this stage, potato plants need plenty of potassium to support tuber development, which is why I'm using grass ash. Trichoderma helps increase beneficial microbial activity around the root zone and reduces the risk of soil-borne fungal diseases. After that, I'll hill up additional soil around the plants to cover developing tubers and create more space for them to grow. After 50 days, the potato plants have nearly reached their maximum size above ground. The stems are thicker and stronger than before. This is also the stage when the plants begin directing most of their nutrients from the stems and leaves down into the developing tubers. At this point, I'm going to build a support structure around the potato plants. I'll place 4 large stakes at the corners, then stretch and secure rope between them to form a support frame. I'll wrap the rope around the brick bed twice and tie the potato stems to it. Take a look at the finished result. After 70 days, the potato plants have entered the mature stage. The canopy is still fairly dense, but the lower leaves are beginning to turn slightly yellow. The stems have fully developed, and the growth of the foliage has started to slow down. At this stage, the plants are directing most of their energy toward enlarging the tubers and storing starch underground. Look at this. The potatoes are now flowering. I'm going to apply the final fertilizer feeding of the season. After 3 months, the potato plants have completely yellowed and are ready for harvest. Let's see what we've got. There are both small and large potatoes. I'm going to pull up all of the potato plants and collect the tubers hidden beneath the soil. You can compare the results of growing potatoes in a long brick bed versus a small square brick bed and see whether there's a significant difference. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Not a bad harvest, right? And this is everything I harvested. Now let's bring them inside and start cooking. If you want to propagate roses, hibiscus, or other woody plants, try this simple potato method. Choose a healthy potato and make a small hole in the center. Just wide enough for the base of a 6 to 8 inch cutting. Remove the lower leaves from the cutting. Then insert the stem into the potato. Plant the whole potato and cutting in loose soil burying the potato completely while leaving the stem and leaves above the surface. Water lightly and keep it in bright indirect light. During the first few weeks, maintain steady moisture but avoid soggy soil. The potato works as a natural moisture reservoir, helping the cutting stay hydrated while roots begin to form. After about 2 to 4 weeks, the cutting may develop callus tissue, young roots, new shoots, and eventually grow into an independent plant.